Get your reactions ready. The live portion of the show will begin in just a moment.
First pitch swinging, and Heim has just poked that one out to right. And that one lined over third base hit. That'll get Durant home easily.
Lines that to right center field. Tavares will not get there. It's off the wall. Bader lines that to left field on the run, and it's past Durant. Stanton laces that to left field. That's a base hit.
Today is Sunday, June 25th, and it's the third game and the rubber game between the Rangers and the Yankees. Garrett Cole was on the mound looking for win number 9, and we got some flashes of classic DJ. But would it be enough? My recap, your reactions coming up next. This is NYY Recaps.
Welcome to Yankee Stadium.
Just when they thought I was out, they pull me back in.
How's it going, everybody? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. Big series win for the Yankees. And I'll tell you what, you love to win a series with a late comeback win, especially before an off day. That can be great for just the team mood, the team momentum. They're headed to Oakland, where they should do a little bit of ass kicking. Even without Aaron Judge, you're a better team than Oakland, so you should dominate them on their turf. We've got a lot to talk about today. So Josh Donaldson had a long meeting with Aaron Boone before the game. There were suspicions that maybe Donaldson was about to get traded, possibly DFA'd, but Boone came out and said they're just sending him to live on a farm upstate. Oh! No, honestly, he's going to get lots of playing time, according to Boone, but that's the same thing they said about Aaron Hicks. That's the same thing they said about Jacoby Ellsbury and Troy Tulowitzki. So that is not set in stone. Look, he's scheduled to speak to the media in a few minutes. It's either going to be some kind of a thing about why he was not in the dugout today, or it would not shock me totally if he just comes out and retires. Jay Bruce retired during the middle of the season, and Donaldson looks about the same. He's got more power, but I don't know. I guess we'll find out if somebody hears. Just let me know in the chat, and we will talk about it. Tabor Talk says the bullpen is crushing it this year. And Richard Lewis says this win feels wonderful. This was a great win. Before we get to the recap, and while the chat is filling up, it's always a little bit slower on Sundays. We've got some good news on Carlos Rodon. 4 shutout innings today. He's going to make one more rehab start, and then he's going to join the Yankees. Maybe 2, but probably 1. He went 4 innings, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 4 strikeouts. And he threw 48 pitches. I thought maybe they would let him throw 60 or so. Sometimes if a guy needs to build his pitch count up, what they'll do is take him out after a certain amount of innings, and then he'll go throw some in the bullpen. That's something they do in spring training. Occasionally they'll do it in rehab starts. I don't know if that happened today. But with just 48 pitches, I think you typically go up by about 15 pitches per outing. So that puts him in the low 60s after his next outing, and it puts him in the mid to high 70s in his first Yankee outing if he comes back in 2 starts. That would maybe be 5 innings. That's about where Luis Severino was when he came back. I personally think they should try and stretch him out a little bit more next time so that he can go 85 pitches his first time. But again, you're being careful with a guy who's had some injury stuff, but so far he's been dominating on his rehab assignment. I got Severino still up there, so I'm going to change that to Garrett Cole on the. I'll tell you what, man. It's been a rough week for the editing here. I'm back to working, all day long. So by the time that we do the post games, I'm a little bit fried. So I'm looking forward to Rodon. I'm not sure he's going to be able to give you a lot of length his first time out. Maybe his second time out, he'll do better. But just stay patient, and hopefully we'll get some good stuff from him down the stretch. Ian Hamilton also coming back. He was pitching great before he got hurt. Maybe having him back will, take some pressure off of guys like Wandy Peralta, who's been struggling. Mike King also been struggling. He pitched pretty well today, though. But yeah, this is one of those days where, on paper, it looks like it's going to be a tight pitcher's duel, like a 1-0 game like yesterday. But it became evident that neither pitcher had their great stuff out of the gate. The Rangers jumped up 1-0 in the first. And with this offense, you're wondering, against a guy like Eovaldi, is the game over? You have to wonder that, unfortunately, but thankfully the Yankees brought the bats today a little bit. Gleyber Torres led off the game with a double, but made another stupid base running mistake.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
So there was a pop-up to shallow right field, kind of a looper, and Harrison Bader was the one who hit it, and Marcus Semien was playing second base, and Semien went out and caught the ball, but Gleyber Torres didn't wait. You know, typically you have to go halfway or, get off the base a little bit just to see if it drops, but be in a position where you can go back if he makes the catch and make it in time. Semien made the catch. He wasn't even sliding when he caught it. He was just running and then slid kind of afterwards. Gleyber Torres just had a bad read, just a dumb play. He took off, ended up getting doubled off. Just a fundamentally bad play. And, that's about the third time this year that he's done that. If you've ever played rec softball, and I've played a lot of rec softball, every once in a while you're a player short, and they'll bring somebody out, who's like, the gothic roommate who's never played sports in their life, and they somehow get on base, and then they have no idea what to do on the bases. That is what Gleyber Torres runs the bases like. That's exactly how I feel when he's on the bases. Rangers were all over Garrett Cole in the second inning. 2 more runs, and it was clear that out of the gate, his breaking ball was just doing absolutely nothing. It was just awful. But he was able to kind of hold it together, to his credit. Rangers were zoning in on the fastball. He started spotting the fastball better. Stanton led things off with a walk, and then Jake Bauers had a tremendous 8-pitch at bat before he doubled in the second inning. DJ followed up with a booming opposite field double that scored both runners. Very nice piece of hitting. That cut the lead to 3-2. And you knew at that point that the Yankees maybe had a little bit of fight in them today, because they could have easily folded down 3-0 to Eovaldi. Nice play by Jose Trevino in the fourth inning. He picked off a runner from first base. Garrett Cole was done before he could get through the fifth inning. Final line, 4 2/3 innings, 9 hits, 3 runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. Overall, not his best outing, but he held things together. His counts were deep. He was struggling to put guys away. He got better with it as the game went along, but again, just not his best outing. A little later on, Harrison Bader smoked his first double of the season, and he ended up getting stranded, but I couldn't believe that was his first double because he's got so much speed. He's a guy who hustles out of the box. You just figure he's going to pick up more doubles. He did pick up another one later in the game. We'll get to that. Cordero threw the ball well today. Nick Ramirez threw the ball well today. Anthony Volpe picked up a big leadoff double in the bottom of the 8th. I think it's fair to say that at the very least, he's been better than he was a few weeks back since he's closed his stance. He had a decent homestand. He is now hitting 195. That's not amazing, but he was down around 185 or so for a bit. And when you're this deep into the season, you really got to do some work to raise your average when you're off to that slow of a start. He's walked more this week. Obviously a big double. I think it's just fair to say that he's improving, within the normal boundaries of a rookie now. It was pretty unacceptable what he was doing, at the very rock bottom when he had to switch his stance up. That was pretty awful. But now that he's, having more comfortable at bats, he's drawing walks again. You're going to get to see him use his speed a little bit more. Wouldn't shock me if he has a big series out in Oakland because it's a little bit less of a decent pitching staff. Trevino followed up with an infield hit. That was the 6th hit of the game for the Yankees at that point. And then 2 batters later, Darth Bader.
Most impressive.
Big 2-run double, his second double of the game. That put the Yankees out in front 4-3. And then Giancarlo followed up with his first line drive single in what feels like forever. That made it 5-3. Mike King came in. He shut things down in the 9th. And somehow, some way, this Yankees team pitched their way to a series victory versus the Texas Rangers.
Ball game over. Yankees win.
Deutsch with the Super Chat says he thinks that the Yankees lineup today was a lineup that can survive without Judge for a little while. Now, I still would love to get more offense out of the catching position. Trevino's hitting just 220. LeMahieu hitting just 230, but he did have 2 doubles in this series. I think that's noteworthy. Rizzo continues to struggle 0 for 3 today. He's down to 270. Remember, he was hitting about 310 for a while. And Stanton, he picked up a line drive hit. He had a ground ball hit yesterday, but he's still at 191. He always murders the ball in Oakland. I think he's going to, if he's healthy, which I'm not entirely sure that he is, but if he's healthy and he has anything left, look for him to go berserker in Oakland. Like if you play fantasy sports or whatever, he's the guy you want to pick in Oakland. Isaiah with the Super Dono. Appreciate that, my friend. DJ was great on defense today, I thought, and Tabor agrees. Let's see. We got some comments here about whether or not Torres is going to be traded, whether or not he's a solid player. Look, he just has brain worms. He loses concentration from time to time, makes a lot of stupid mistakes, but he can also hit pretty well. Let's go ahead and award the belt for today. Garrett Cole did a nice job keeping it together, but really there's only 2 choices. DJ with his 2-run double or Bader with his 2 doubles. And I'm going with Mr. Harrison Bader. Tommy Higgs says one of the catchers should be moved at the deadline in favor of Rortvedt. And I got to say, I kind of agree. Or Austin Wells for that matter. But one thing that Major League Baseball teams don't like to do when they're still competitive is change out their catcher because the pitching staff gets used to the catcher. Now, Carlos Rodon, we just talked about him. He was very complimentary about Austin Wells in his rehab starts. And obviously again today, I don't know if Austin Wells caught today. I guess we can pull up the box score and find out. We'll do that maybe after the Yankees box score. But if Austin Wells can catch, we could use a left-handed power bat. I mean, I can't imagine he's going to hit much worse than 211 or whatever, Trevino's hitting right now. Let's pull up the AA games while we're looking at box scores here, and then I'll get it going. So Somerset actually lost 8-7 today. Let's go ahead and get to the box scores here. First, we'll take a look at this AA box score, actually. So Wells was 1 for 5. He's hitting 245, but on the season, we'll pull him up, 11 home runs, 38 RBIs, 824 OPS. That's not bad. 175 at-bats, 23 years old. You see a lot of catchers debut a little bit later, maybe in their 24, 25 age. Like Posada, I think he came up when he was 24. Didn't really start till he was 25 or 26. It takes a lot more catching practice in the minor leagues than it does for most fielders. A lot more defensive practice. Dominguez was 1 for 4 with another walk today, hitting over 202 now. Pereira just came back the other day from an injury. He's doing all right. Sweeney been on fire. He was 3 for 5 today with a double and a triple. Another shortstop prospect, first-round draft pick, college hitter. Wouldn't shock me if he's, going to be on the fast track to the major leagues. 10 stolen bases, obviously got some speed, runs the bases well, very athletic kid. As a shortstop, though, he's blocked. So if I were the Yankees, I would immediately shift him either over to third base or to second base or to first base, maybe even the outfield, just so that his bat can play whenever he's ready. Because if he's ready with the bat and you got nowhere to play him, then you got to spend more time in the minor leagues like they're doing with Peraza, teaching him how to play another position. That's just an example of how the Yankees, misuse their minor league talent a little bit. Let's talk about the box score from today. So the Yankees got 8 hits, but they had 4 hits going into the bottom of the 8th inning. But again, big bottom of the 8th inning to take the lead. Torres 1 for 4, Bader 2 for 4, Stanton 1 for 3, Bowers 1 for 3, LeMahieu 1 for 3, Volpe 1 for 3, and Trevino 1 for 3. But that was it. Cole, obviously 9 hits in 4 2/3 innings is not what you're used to seeing from him. The whip over 1. Cordero Ramirez pitched well. Marinaccio threw a scoreless inning, and Mike King shut things down with a couple of strikeouts in the ninth. All right, let's get some of your comments here. Tony Malagon says, I'm a Yankees fan in California. I'll be going to the game on Wednesday. Hopefully they don't lose. They will hear me because I'm right by the Yankees dugout. We'll try and tell them to, put the ball in play a little bit more. Roberto saying, best pitching in the minor leagues is in Double-A. That's 100% true. The top prospects are typically Double-A pitchers. Once you get to Triple-A, it's a lot of guys who are more like almost like journeyman types that will, get called up, the shuttle squad type of players. Barker says that Rortvedt's hurt. I think he does. I think you're right. I think he got placed on the concussion IL, but he should be back soon. But actually, he played yesterday. Okay, that's fair to know. I don't follow the minor leagues on a daily basis. I kind of check in weekly. So, Pamela says, is Johnny Lasagna dead? Pretty sure he must be at this point. Last I heard, he had some elbow issues, and he was going to be out till probably September. Parkson says, great series win against the best hitting team in Major League Baseball. You have to give credit to our pitching staff. The starting pitching in this series was phenomenal, and the bullpen was equally lights out. Tommy says, Torres looks like a deer in headlights. He definitely has a lot of kind of head-scratcher moments. Derek says, what are your thoughts on the Boone-Donaldson pregame meeting? So my guess, and without being in the room, I can't be sure, is that the Yankees wanted to tell Donaldson something that he didn't want to hear, either that he's got a short leash or he's going to be released or whatever, or they told him he was going to be released, and he fought for maybe fought successfully to remain on the roster. I want to hear what's in his press conference that he has later today. I haven't seen any updates yet, but if I do see something, I will let you know. Also, let me know if you hear something. But let's see if there's anything tweeted from Jack Curry. Nothing yet. He's supposed to speak to the media, so hopefully we'll see something. But he's definitely been benched for the last 3 games. It's not been a rest thing. I think the Yankees have lost a little bit of confidence in him. Maybe they've just told him, hey, you're getting a few days off, and you got the off day. You'll play in Oakland against some weaker pitching to get your swing back. I don't know. But, we can't live with a guy hitting 125 and just in there for his defense. Otherwise, you better just play Isaiah Kiner-Falefa because he's going to hit better than that. Disgruntled YouTuber says, is Peraza hurt? Peraza has had an ongoing abdominal issue. It's not severe enough for him to be on the IL from what I hear, but it is severe enough to keep him from playing, too many days in a row. So he's been getting some time off. Tommy says, Boone managed a good game today. I thought he managed the bullpen very well today. Jeff J says, I am tired of Glaber's brain farts on base and his tree stump range at second base. Tree stump range. I haven't heard that one before. That's good. If no one is going to teach him how to play hard, time to package him up.
Ding.
Junior Caroma says, Harrison Bader can effing hit, man. Yeah, he swung the bat well today, but he's hitting 255, 751. It looks great because nobody around him hits, This whole team is basically hitting 220 or below, it seems. So, we look at him like he's amazing, but, imagine if you had a lineup, that hit multiple doubles and 10, 11, 12 hits a game instead of usually 5 or 6. It would be a lot more fun. Tabor Talk says Yankees 9-4 in rubber games this year. That's good to hear. Joshua Torres is suggesting that they're probably giving Donaldson the option to retire or be designated for assignment. That's a good take. Would not shock me.
Game over, man. Game over.
I gotta get out of here.
330M Broken Glass says Rizzo had a brain fart too. Rizzo does mess up on the bases a lot. Also. But in general, I think Rizzo's head is in the game much more so than Gleyber Torres. But neither one of them is a good base runner. Parks and Young says Boone doesn't discipline guys for bad plays. We've seen it happen before. We saw Aaron Hicks get benched last year after he stood there and watched that ball in left field, and then he kind of messed up another one that was hit over his head. They basically took him out of the game. And look, Donaldson's been benched the last 3 games. So I don't think it's fair to say that. I don't think he necessarily is very tough on Gleyber Torres, but someone needs to be, because he's just, got too many brain farts. Parkson says, need King to get back to his dominating self. Well, today was a good start. I thought the changeup was really good. And Tabor Talk says Billy Martin would straighten out Gleyber, but Billy Martin is dead. All right, guys, we're going to call it a night. I'll be back at you on Tuesday unless something happens, tomorrow. We got a day off for the Yankees tomorrow. And then, like I said, Oakland. So I will catch you then. Good series. Good homestand. Yankees win 4 out of 6. Good night.
Ball game over.
Most impressive.